As you all know, the negotiations between Iran and the United States have stopped. And as a result, Trump has ordered a naval blockade of all ships through the Strait of Hormuz. He also additionally ordered that any ships that paid the $2 million fee to Iran and used the petro-yuan to trade in oil, they will be interdicted, which means they'll be seized or banned or sanctions put on them. The Bab Mandel Strait is now closed, and that's a route people take or ships take through to Egypt for trade for all of Europe and North America. And that's being blocked off by the Houthis in Yemen that support Iran. This has the potential to lead to global escalation. Let me explain. But before I do, we have to understand how we got here. You see, China and all its allies and the BRICS movement has tried and worked to depeg the U.S. petrodollar to eliminate the United States as a hegemony in the world, hegemony being the world leader. It's beat the U.S., China has beat the U.S. economy, its innovation, and it's beat the U.S. in military equipment. So the only thing the United States has that gives them a hegemony over the world is the petrodollar, because the world needs oil and the world trades in U.S. currency to buy oil. So to counter the depegging of the petrodollar, the United States seized control of Venezuelan oil and now wants control of the Middle Eastern oil. That would starve Asia and Europe of the precious lifeblood of the world. That way it could maintain its hegemony and insist that countries trade only in American dollars. Well, this has royally backfired. Countries have traded in yuan, and so more and more countries were trading with the petro-yuan rather than the American dollar. And Iran has been a thorn in Trump's side. It has withstood 50 years of sanctions. It has survived a decapitation strike, constant attacks, the threat of ground invasion. Basically, this is a real David and Goliath story. David being Iran and Goliath being Trump. Trump is now on his last play, which is to close the strait completely. This is going to hurt a lot of people in Europe and in Asia, because that's where most of the oil flows from the Middle East. Essentially, if the strait is entirely closed, all of Asia and Europe is going to run dry. It's not going to affect us here in North America as much because we have our own supplies and resources. But where it's going to hurt is going to hurt our wallets, and we are going to see shelves in our grocery stores and at Walmart or in everyday life become more bare because the cost of living is going to skyrocket and shipments are going to be far and few in between, because we get a lot of resources from the Middle East, such as helium, plastics, fertilizer, everything that you need for modern day economy. So Trump's move will likely force China's hand or Europe's hand to act. Once the total blockade starts, the clock starts to run down, basically, before Europe and Asia completely run dry. Forcing action or suffering. If Europe or China acts, we're in a global conflict. If they don't act, then their countries are going to collapse, both economically and their governments are going to collapse, because there's going to be no energy to keep their countries going. It's a real damned if you do situation, damned if you do, damned if you don't situation that the world finds itself in right now. And it's all because of the chaos that Trump has caused at trying to keep the hegemony of the United States within the world. But this is all his doing because he tried to bully and force other countries to do what he says. It has resulted in the global community rebelling against the United States. And now he's trying to force a global conflict or some kind of aid and assistance in handling Iran. Will it work? Your guess is as good as mine. That's all I got. Anyways, you stay deadly. We'll see what happens next.